You feel it before anything actually happens. A sharp pull in your chest, a tightening that steals your breath and turns your focus outward, toward her. One delayed reply, one colder tone, one shift you can't explain. And suddenly, the calm you thought you had begins to crack. You tell yourself you're just being attentive. You tell yourself you care. But the truth is darker. You're not chasing love. You're chasing safety. Your nervous system reacts before your mind even knows why. It pulls you out of yourself and into her emotional world. You start scanning, predicting, explaining, fixing. Not because she asked you to, but because the silence inside you feels unbearable. What if that pressure you feel isn't a sign something is wrong with her, but a sign something is unregulated inside you? What if the chase you fear is happening long before you take any action? And what if everything you lose, your center, your clarity, your truth, begins right there, in that first breath you abandon yourself? Chapter 1. When a man starts chasing. Every man can remember the exact moment he began to chase. It never starts with a dramatic fight or a clear rejection. It starts with something small, something almost invisible. A delayed reply, a shorter message, a colder tone that doesn't match her words. Something shifts, and your body feels it before your mind understands it. Your chest tightens, your stomach drops half an inch, your breath becomes shallow. You don't call it fear, but that's what it is. A low, quiet fear that lives behind your ribs. You check your phone again and again. You scroll her messages, looking for clues you missed. Suddenly, your attention is no longer in your life. It's circling around her. This is the moment a man stops being grounded. Not when he texts too much, not when he explains himself, but when he abandons the present moment to monitor her emotional temperature. You lean forward, emotionally, not physically. Emotionally, your mind moves toward her with a speed your body can't match. You start interpreting every pause, every shift, every small change in tone. Your nervous system becomes the radar, scanning for danger that may not exist. You tell yourself you're being attentive. You tell yourself you just care. You tell yourself you're trying to understand her better. But underneath that story lies a truth most men never admit. You're not seeking connection. You're seeking safety. Not love, but safety. Not certainty, but safety. Not closeness, but safety. And the moment safety becomes your priority, you stop acting from strength. You start reacting from fear. Your voice softens too much. Your words become careful instead of honest. Your decisions become strategic instead of natural. You adjust yourself to avoid losing her, even though nothing is being lost. This is how the chase begins. Not with action, but with anxiety. Not with movement, but with misalignment. Not with what you do, but with what you feel. Your body enters a quiet survival mode. You don't run, but you lean. You don't beg, but you bend. You don't explain yet, but you prepare to. Every small gesture becomes a negotiation for reassurance. Every message becomes a test. Every silence becomes a threat your body tries to solve. And here is the part that stings. She feels this shift even before you speak. Women don't react to the words you say. They react to the energy you come from. A man who feels unsafe in his body always chases, even when he stands still. A man who feels grounded never chases, even when he reaches out first. This is the truth most men miss. Chasing starts in the nervous system long before it shows up in your behavior. And once you understand this, you're ready for the next layer. The real reason your system panics in the first place. Chapter 2. The real reason. You panic. Most men believe they panic because they might lose her. They think the fear comes from the possibility of rejection. But that's not the real reason. The panic begins long before the woman. Long before the relationship. Long before the moment she changed her tone or paused before replying. Your body learned this fear years ago. From the first moments you felt emotionally unsafe. From childhood patterns you never named. From the environments where you had to earn affection, prove your worth, or stay hyper-aware to avoid conflict. Your nervous system learned a rule you didn't choose. If connection shifts, you're in danger. This rule becomes automatic. It becomes instinct. It becomes the quiet engine behind every anxious urge you feel as a man. So when her energy changes, even slightly, your body reacts as if something old is happening again. Not because she's leaving, but because your system remembers a time when emotional distance meant survival risk. This is the hard reversal most men never see. You don't panic because of her. You panic because you lose connection with yourself. Your fear isn't about the woman. It's about the collapse inside your own body. This is why the panic feels so immediate, so physical, so irrational, so disproportionate to the situation. A 2-hour delayed reply hurts more than it should. A short message feels like abandonment. A neutral expression looks like disappointment. Your body fills in the gaps with the oldest story it knows. You're about to be left. Not because she said it, not because she implied it, but because your system is triggered by ambiguity. Ambiguity is louder than rejection. Ambiguity activates your earliest survival codes. Ambiguity makes you feel responsible for fixing something that isn't broken. This is why you explain yourself too much. This is why you try to control the tone of conversations. This is why you overinvest emotionally too fast. This is why you chase reassurance instead of staying grounded. Your system is not seeking love. It's seeking safety. It's scanning her instead of anchoring in yourself. It's predicting danger instead of trusting presence. And here is the soft twist you must see clearly. Your panic is not proof that something is wrong in the relationship. It's proof that something is unregulated in your nervous system. That's why every woman triggers the same pattern in you. That's why every relationship repeats the same cycle. That's why different faces bring out the same fear. The problem was never her. The problem was the internal alarm you never learned to switch off. And the deeper truth is this: your panic isn't weakness. It's the body's attempt to keep you safe. But it uses old strategies that no longer match your current life. Once you see this clearly, the whole dynamic shifts. You stop asking, why is she doing this? And you start asking, why is my system reacting this way? That question is the beginning of strength. It's the doorway to calm that isn't fake. It's the first step toward becoming a man who doesn't chase. And that brings us to the real turning point, the difference between brittle calm and true inner solidity. Chapter 3. Brittle calm versus true. Center. Every man thinks he's calm until the moment he isn't. And that is the problem with most modern masculinity advice. It teaches you to look calm instead of to be calm. You lower your voice. You breathe slower. You speak less. You hold back your reactions. You try to look unbothered. But inside, your chest is tight. Your jaw is locked. Your stomach is twisted. Your breath feels trapped behind your ribs. This is not calm. This is collapse avoidance. You're not centered. You're bracing. And when you brace, everything becomes fragile. Your patience becomes fragile. Your boundaries become fragile. Your communication becomes fragile. Your sense of worth becomes fragile. This is what I call brittle calm, the illusion of stability created by holding everything inside. Brittle calm looks strong, but it shatters under pressure. One delayed reply, one unexpected question, one small moment of uncertainty, and suddenly your entire emotional world cracks open. You go from, I'm fine, to, what's happening, to, why is she acting like this, to, did I do something wrong? In minutes. Your center collapses because it was never a center. It was a performance, a shield, a temporary posture you hoped would protect you. Here is the hard reversal. Your calm isn't failing because she is difficult. Your calm is failing because it was built on fear. That kind of calm depends on her behavior. It depends on her tone. It depends on her reassurance. It depends on external stability. And anything that depends on external stability will break the moment reality shifts. True center is different. True center isn't a performance. It doesn't need silence. It doesn't need perfect behavior. It doesn't need constant validation. True center is anchored in your body, not in her responses. It comes from breath, not expectation. From awareness, not control. From presence, not pressure. And here's the soft twist. You don't build true calm by forcing stillness. You build it by expanding your capacity to feel without reacting. A man with true center can feel uncertainty without panicking. He can feel distance without collapsing. He can feel tension without compensating. He can feel discomfort without chasing. That is real strength. Not the silence you hold, not the mask you wear, but the capacity to stay with your own internal experience without abandoning yourself. A man with brittle calm needs her stability to stay balanced. A man with true center stays balanced regardless of what she does. That is why some men crumble when a woman pulls back, while others remain rooted, grounded, present. It has nothing to do with confidence, nothing to do with status, nothing to do with personality. It has everything to do with nervous system capacity. And here is the truth that changes everything. Your body can be trained to stay open under pressure. Your system can learn a new pattern. Your calm can become real. But to do that, you must first see the situations where you lose yourself the fastest. The 3 hidden conflicts that expose brittle calm in every man. Chapter 4. The 3 hidden conflicts. Every man thinks he loses his center because of big arguments, the shouting, the emotional storms, the obvious conflicts. But that's not where you break. Men lose themselves in the quiet moments, the subtle interactions, the tiny shifts that hit deeper than any loud fight ever could. You don't shatter in the chaos. You shatter in the silence. There are 3 hidden conflicts that expose brittle calm in every man. 3 moments that push your nervous system into panic, even when nothing bad is happening. Let's break them down. Conflict Jury 1. The unclear distance. This is the moment she pulls back slightly. Not enough to say something is wrong, but enough that you feel the shift. She takes longer to respond. Her tone becomes neutral instead of warm. Her energy feels unavailable in a way you can't explain. Your body reacts before your mind can make sense of it. A tightness forms in your chest. Your breath becomes shorter. Your attention locks onto her. You tell yourself, she's busy. You tell yourself, it's nothing. You tell yourself, you're overthinking. But underneath all that logic, your body is bracing. Here's the soft twist. You don't fear distance. You fear losing control of the narrative. When the connection feels unclear, your system fills the gap with threat. Not because she's pulling away, but because you don't know what the distance means. Ambiguity is the deepest trigger for a man with brittle calm. You're not reacting to her behavior. You're reacting to the story your fear tells you about her behavior. And so, the chase begins, even if you don't move. Conflict number 2, the emotional shift. You can't decode. This conflict is subtle but powerful. She changes emotionally in a way you can't read. Her words stay the same, but her tone is colder. Her body language is slightly closed. Her energy feels heavier or sharper. When you can't decode someone's emotional state, your system goes into hyper alert. You start analyzing facial expressions. You monitor the rhythm of the conversation. You adjust your responses to avoid causing more tension. But here's the hard truth. You cannot be present with someone you're trying to manage. You lose yourself the moment you stop being honest and start trying to say what will keep the peace. This is where most men begin to over-explain. I didn't mean it that way. I just want to make sure we're okay. I didn't want you to misunderstand. You think you're clarifying, but in reality, you're negotiating for safety. And here's the soft twist. You're not trying to calm her. You're trying to calm your own fear of disappointing her. Her emotional shift exposes your internal instability. Her energy changes, and yours collapses. This is not her fault. It's the mirror she unintentionally holds up to your nervous system. Conflict number 3, the moment you feel responsible for her emotions. This is the deepest conflict for men who chase. The moment you believe that her emotional state is your responsibility. She's quiet, she's stressed, she seems upset, and immediately you feel compelled to fix it. You offer solutions, you adjust your tone, you try to soothe her even when she didn't ask. You rush to repair a rupture that never happened. Here is the soft twist. You're not fixing her emotions. You're fixing your discomfort with her emotions. You can't stand the feeling of her being unsettled. Your body interprets it as danger. So you try to stabilize her to stabilize yourself. This is why you explain too much. This is why you apologize prematurely. This is why you soften your boundaries. This is why you lose your center. You're not reacting to her feelings. You're reacting to the weight you place on them. And here's the truth. Most men never say out loud, "You feel responsible," because deep down, you are terrified of losing connection. Not her. Connection. This conflict exposes the core wound, the belief that the relationship will fall apart if you don't hold it together. But real connection doesn't require you to hold anything. It requires you to stand. These 3 conflicts are not external problems. They are internal activations. Each one reveals the same pattern. Your system chases safety, not love. And once you see that, you can finally move into the one shift that breaks the cycle, learning how to interrupt the panic pattern at its root. Chapter 5. Breaking the panic pattern. You don't break the panic pattern by forcing yourself to stay calm. That's brittle calm, the same mask that collapses the moment tension appears. Real change begins deeper, inside your nervous system. The first step is awareness. Not thinking, not analyzing, awareness. You must learn to catch the exact moment your body shifts into fear. It starts with the breath. Your breath gets shallow. Your chest tightens. Your attention narrows. You stop feeling your legs. You rise up into your head and lose your ground. When that happens, most men immediately chase reassurance. They send another message. They explain themselves. They soften their tone. They try to manage her perception. But here's the truth. You cannot regulate your fear by controlling someone else. You regulate it by returning to yourself. The second step is grounding. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel the weight of your body. Bring your breath lower into your stomach. Let the exhale be longer than the inhale. This doesn't make you colder. It makes you clearer. It brings your awareness back into your body, where your strength lives. The third step is space, not distance, space. Space is the opposite of pressure. Space lets the connection breathe. Space lets your emotions settle. Space lets your nervous system come back online. Most men fear space because they think it means losing her. But here's the soft twist. You don't lose connection by giving space. You lose connection by losing yourself. The fourth step is honesty. Not emotional dumping, not oversharing, honesty. Speak directly, simply, without performance. Honesty builds clarity. Clarity builds trust. Trust builds connection. The fifth step is immovable presence. This is the foundation of masculine calm. Presence is not silence. Presence is not emotional distance. Presence is not rigid control. Presence is the ability to stay with your experience without collapsing, chasing, or explaining. A man who has presence doesn't react from fear. He responds from clarity. He leads with grounded energy instead of anxious urgency. He holds himself the way a tree holds its roots, steady, calm, unforced. This is what breaks the panic pattern permanently. Moment-to-moment self-regulation. Not perfection, regulation. And when you learn to do that, something extraordinary happens. Your center becomes real. Your calm becomes trustworthy. Your presence becomes felt. And she responds to that presence, not the performance you used to hide behind. Becoming the awakened man. When you stop chasing, something inside you shifts. Your breath deepens. Your body opens. Your vision clears. You stop reacting to every small change in her tone. You stop searching for reassurance in every message. You stop abandoning yourself for connection. You become someone she can feel, not someone she has to manage. A man who doesn't chase isn't cold. He's rooted. A man who doesn't beg isn't distant. He's grounded. A man who doesn't explain isn't aloof. He's aligned. And alignment is what creates attraction, trust, and safety. The real kind, not the desperate kind. You become a man whose center is internal, not negotiated. A man who leads with clarity, not fear. A man who stands, even when things feel uncertain. And that is the transformation. Not becoming harder, but becoming deeper. Not becoming distant, but becoming present. Not becoming silent, but becoming self-held. Subscribe if you choose the ocean over the armor. Join the men who are awake. And before you go, breathe once, feel your chest soften. And remember the moment this video opened. That tightening in your chest. That rising pressure. Now feel the difference. That shift is not a performance. It's the beginning of a new pattern. Next, video tease. In the next episode, we break down the psychology of silent tests, why women do them, what they really mean, and how awakened men navigate them without losing their center.